Guys, welcome back to Relax Running. Tyson Popplestone here. Now, today I want to give you a little sneak peek behind the scenes of how I work with an athlete 12 weeks out from them trying to break 20 minutes for 5 kilometers. There's a few things we have to tick off before we jump on board trying to achieve this program because it suggests 20 minutes for 5K that you've done a little bit of running in the past. So if you're a first-time runner, you're just getting into it, you're not 100% sure where you're at, this one might not be for you. But if you're around about the mark of 23 minutes to 28 minutes for 5K, I reckon you could get some real bang for your buck out of this one. So with that said, let's jump into it and get you running under 20 minutes for 5K in 12 weeks' time. Now, if you've been here before or listened to the Relax Running podcast, one thing that I'm sure you've heard me speak about more than once is this idea that consistency is so underrated. A lot of the time, we'll go out and we'll look for a magic formula, we'll look for some secret recipe as to how we can take huge gains and make huge improvements on whatever the event that we're training for. One of the most important things that you can actually do to see the improvements you crave seeing is to stick to the program that you've started out with. Now, obviously, there's certain things we're going to have to hit. There's certain volumes, certain paces, certain intensities that we want to have clarified when we step into this program, which is what we're going to go through today. But if you have the most perfect formula in the whole world and don't stick to it, nothing is going to work. So let's make our focus for this 12-week program consistency, and from there we'll adjust some of the minute details to help us along the way. So with that said, 3 to 4 days of running would be a level that would be pretty good to be comfortable at before we step into this training program. But what does that week actually look like? In a 4-day training week, I would encourage you to focus on a long run, a session, an easy run, and another easy run with some faster efforts at the end. Now, when we're looking at breaking 20 minutes for 5K, obviously you need speed endurance, you need some speed, you need the endurance in your legs. You also have to familiarize yourself with the pace that going out there and running 4 minutes per K feels like. And that's going to be one of the foundational elements when we're planning the session. Now, let's get into it. How do we actually structure the week from 12 weeks out? A lot of people like to do a gradual build, and depending on where you're at in your training program, that's a perfectly fine thing, particularly for events like the marathon, where you're not just going to go out there and run 40 Ks every single week, though perhaps approaching a distance like that once or twice might be beneficial. The thing that we have on our side when it comes to 5 kilometers is there's no really huge need to see a rapid increase in the distance of your long run. So on a Sunday, if that's when you've scheduled your long run, your idea there is to run around 8 to 12 kilometers. This serves as a perfectly reasonable foundation for your 5K training. This long run pace is done at zone 2 to 3 or a conversational pace. It should feel relatively easy. The idea of a Sunday run is not to go out there and absolutely smash it out of the park. We'll get to that soon. That's session day. The idea is to work on your cardiovascular fitness, your aerobic fitness, and almost develop your ability to get out there spending time on feet. Think of this as the foundation that the rest of your week is built on. From week 1 all the way through this training program, we're going to keep this long run at around 8 to 12 kilometers, depending on how your legs are feeling on that particular day. The key focus of this run is long, slow distance, zone 2 heart rate, conversational pace, nothing faster. You'll thank me later in the week, trust me. Now, throughout the course of this video, you're going to notice there's a couple of days that I am skipping over. Those days are your off days from running. That might be the day where you go in and work on your gym program, your Pilates routine, your yoga. It's an off day from running. Doesn't mean it has to be an off day from everything else. One thing I will say is if you are going to hit the gym or a Pilates session or something more intense off the running track, make sure that intense stuff is not done the day before the session, which is going to take place on the Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is our session day. That's our harder day. This is the day where we go out and actually challenge ourselves to run at race pace or beyond. Now, for those of you who are new to a session, the idea here is you want to go out, you want to familiarize yourself with the pace that you're required to run, but you also want to get the benefits of a more intense workout. This means one important thing we're going to have to do before we get into this workout is make sure that we've warmed up well. A nice, easy 10 to 15 minute jog, same pace as your Sunday run, is a nice way to warm up. Get that blood flowing, get that heart rate up. Make sure those legs feel warm before we get into the session. After this warm up, you might want to take an opportunity to get a drink, have a few stretches, maybe change into your race day shoe or your training shoe, and then gently increase the pace over some strides of 4 by 100 meters. This is a good chance to just adjust your body and your mind to what you're about to step into. From here, take a couple of moments to get your breath, get a drink, and then for that week, we're going to get into the particular session plan. Now, athletes who are working with me are going to do a variation of mostly the following style of sessions. You're going to do intervals like 6 by 1 kilometer at around 10K pace with 60 seconds recovery. Obviously, this week, not going to be done every week. It's more focused on that speed endurance. The other session, which is a really key part of running 20 minutes for 5K, is what we call quarters. Now, for this session, as it sounds, you're going to go out and you're going to run 8 to 10 times 400 meters at slightly faster than your goal 5K race pace. You're going to have 60 to 75 seconds recovery, depending on your fitness, depending on exactly what it is that we've planned for you. And then you're going to do this for 8 to 10 times. The other workouts that we might do on a day like this is hill reps, where we'll go out and run between 250 and 400 meters 6 to 8 times. This is a really intense workout. You want to go at around 5K effort, which if you're going by a rate of perceived effort or RPE, you're looking at around 7 out of 10. From there, you want to do a nice slow walk/jog back down to the bottom before you start again. The most important thing for today is obviously getting our body adjusted to the difficulty and the fatigue that's going to come with a more intense session. But with the session on the track, like the quarters one that I mentioned, it's going to give you an opportunity to really familiarize yourself with what it feels like to be out there running at the pace you're required to run. One of the most difficult things athletes who are trying to break 20 minutes for 5K have to face is, okay, how do I make sure that I actually manage my pace throughout the run? You might go out in 3 minutes 30, which is way too fast for someone trying to break 20 minutes for 5K, and all of a sudden throw out your chances because you've put too much on the table too early. If you can get comfortable, get familiar, really know what it feels like to operate at around that 4-minute mark, hitting that first K, that first 2 or 3K in around about the time you need to hit it, which is 4 minutes each kilometer, is going to really help you conserve energy for the latter part of the race. It's so much more effective to have energy in the tank and be slightly slower than your goal time at 4K than have absolutely put everything on the table and be slightly under your goal time for that last kilometer, because obviously so much time can be made up on that final kilometer straight. Friday's a rest day or another opportunity to get into the gym. Saturday, we're going to go out and do 30 to 40 minutes as a really easy pace. Same as Sundays, zone 2, conversational, shouldn't be breathing, shouldn't be difficult. Aerobic fitness, cardiovascular benefits is our target for this run. The end of this run, however, we're going to do variations of between 4 and 5 times 15-second strides. That can be on a slight uphill, it can be on the flat, but we're aiming to do that at around 80% of our maximum effort. Truth is, this is going to be a lot faster than you're required to run on 5K race day. Going to build some strength, but also get you comfortable with what it feels like running fast. One of the biggest shocks for so many athletes when they try and run 4 minutes per K, if they've come off marathon training or just long, slow running, is it feels kind of fast. We want you to start to feel comfortable running this 4-minute K pace. Now, there's a lot of other factors that come into a performance like this: technique, learning to relax. I've linked a video just up here for you guys to check out if that would be something which you consider beneficial. If you can learn to navigate your way through discomfort, stress, fatigue, and tension, that's going to alleviate a lot of stress from your body, allowing you to move more freely, which in turn is going to allow you to run a lot faster. If you want more, make sure you jump over to Relaxed Running. We've got all of our programs from 5K through to the marathon and beyond available there. It goes into so much more depth and detail. Also happy to answer any questions, concerns, comments that you guys link in the comment section of this video. But for now, happy training. Let us know how you go. Let us know if this was helpful, and good luck for the upcoming 5K.